Hi guys, this is Chauncey from Session Stories, and today I'm joined by Palffi, an artist who's been quietly building a world all of his own, one filled with surreal characters, offbeat charm, and music that walks the line between dreaming and grounded. You might have already heard of his 2025 singles, Lean on Me, Creatures, Spaceman, and Windows, and now we're just days away from his new album, Goodbye Strawberry Lane, marking the beginning of a new trilogy, and we're super stoked to have you here today.
That was a very beautiful introduction. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. So I think my favorite song is definitely Creatures. I love that one. And so your song Creatures delves into confronting inner demons. Can you maybe elaborate on the character Mr. Miracle, on how Creatures he fits into his narrative?
Mr. Miracle is this dreamer who has like this big dream of flying to the moon with a spaceship he builds on his own, and that he has some doubts along the way is normal, I think, because it's a very big project. And Creatures highlights these doubts in any way possible. And I get the question asked a lot if Mr. Miracle and I are the same person. So I had some interviews where I was asked that question, and I would be a fool to say no, because definitely, as a musician or as a human being in general, there are so many creatures that like haunt us in any way possible. And this is a song like to all the demons we have inside ourselves. But as you can maybe hear on the album, he's also overcoming these fears. And it's also like these creatures need to be there to like shape him in a way.
Yeah. Another favorite one of mine is your track Lean on Me. It definitely exudes kind of like warmth and support. So was it inspired from personal experiences or maybe something else?
This is actually a song about all the people in my life that I've loved and that loved me or still love me. So this is not a specific person. For example, I played it to my girlfriend and she was very happy that she had a song on the album, and I played it to my mother and she was also saying, this is a song about me. So yeah, there are a lot of opinions here, but I think it's definitely to all of them, but also very generally speaking, because who are we without the people that like support us and love us no matter what? And as a musician with all the doubts and creatures I have, there can be dark times as well. So having someone who supports you is like the best thing that could happen. And this is a song for all of them.
Yeah. I know we talked about Mr. Miracle and how this is like the start of a trilogy. What inspired this whole trilogy, and what can listeners kind of like expect from its progression?
I had the first idea for this story in 2023. I was in Italy on holiday and it like just struck me. And first I wanted to write a book because the story in my head, it was finished because it's actually very easy. So there's one guy who builds a spaceship, flies to the moon and builds an amusement park there. And I wanted to write a book. And then slowly it started creeping into my music and I was sure, okay, this has to be music. So if I'm a musician and I can tell the story through music, that's the best that can happen. It is a story, but it reflects on my life and my decisions and the things that I've learned about myself, about the world. And of course, there is this outline of the story, like where I'm heading with this. But as the first album was shaped by my personal life, I think album 2 and 3 will also be shaped through my personal life. But it's also telling the story, so I'm very excited about finishing them. And it's actually pretty funny because there are songs already finished on both albums. Like it's not completely finished, but somehow, I don't know if you talk to musicians that had like the same feeling, but sometimes I write a song and it's finished and the things that I write about happen like 1 year after. So 1 year after the song, I listened to the song and it describes the situation that's happened last week. How can this be? It's crazy, but it's also very, very beautiful. I'm very excited myself how the story is going to unfold, and maybe there's something after the third album as well. Like, I don't want to limit myself. I just had to tell them, okay, yes, it's not just one album. I'm working on 3 albums. The second album describes like the flight from Earth to the moon. So it's more like a journey album. So as I'm starting my journey as a musician right now as well, because the whole concept of the album and what it represents is really shaking up things. I don't know if you can say it like this in English, but there is momentum growing. So I'm definitely sure there's going to be a step forward in a sense. And yeah, I'm very excited to look at my life and write songs about it.
Yeah. And then I definitely love the title of the album as well. So Goodbye to Strawberry Lane. Is that a reference to a specific place or a memory? I know you also mentioned Strawberry Lane. It's also mentioned in your song Creatures. Like, you can like only hear, I think, like in the harmony it's mentioned. So just curious, like, what's the story behind the name?
So the Strawberry Lane is like my hometown, or the place where everything like starts, like the place where I grew up, or where I like, just, you can see it as a town where I grew up in. So that's the town where Mr. Miracle's from. And the idea was, I once heard that if you smell strawberries, your brain thinks about childhood memories. So that's the connection there. But yeah, that's the crazy thing. The first time I mentioned Strawberry Lane was in a song called Baby Boy. It's from my last EP. So for me, it was like, I wrote this song, I think in 2021 or 2022, and it's still in this story. So I think it's also like, this is an example for, okay, I had the idea way back and now it's starting to transform into this thing.
And so compared to Sally, I think Sally definitely was a bit more playful and had this kind of like lo-fi pop sensibility to it. And then we have Goodbye Strawberry Lane, which feels kind of like a step into something deeper and maybe a bit more cinematic. So how would you say your sound has like evolved? And was there like anything specific that like inspired this transformation?
I think the big thing was learning how the music industry works, because the first album I was still signed to a label, and I had like this I think I was 20 years old when I signed with them, and it was the whole concept of, okay, you have someone who takes care of your management, your label, your distribution. And so they sent me into songwriting sessions where I was writing songs with producers that wanted to make hits and loved what's on the charts, and I just went with it and was like, okay, if you want to do a song like this, I'ma do it, and I will put my heart and soul into it. But it was not like that it was 100% what I wanted to do. And then after COVID and after the whole label thing fell apart, I was sure I'm never gonna join a label again. I founded my own label, and now I'm just making music that I really love. So it's inspired by the bands and music that I listen to personally, and it's not like that I look at the charts and what's popping right now and what should I do. That's not something that I want to do, because it's not me.
Yeah, I also feel like the music becomes less genuine when you focus on hits versus something that comes from either like something that's experience or true or heart. So definitely think you made the right choice. And so I know that you're a multi-instrumentalist and you're also a producer. So what's your creative process like? How does a song typically come together for you?
Mostly it starts actually with me and my acoustic guitar, because my living room back home in my flat is like very, like, there are a lot of instruments that I can like sit down and just play, because everything's already connected to my computer. So it's very easy for me to produce or make music quickly. But most of the time, it's actually the songs that are on the album are actually the songs that were finished in, I would say, an hour and a half, alone or with friends. Like the outlines of the songs that are on the album were done pretty quickly, because they came from the heart. If you think about something too much, you always have to think it through. I'm definitely in love with finishing everything that you start. So, and that's what I try to do, even if it's not good. But if you just have an acoustic guitar, then it's pretty easy like to finish a song. And the songs that were finished fast are the ones that are on the album. And when it comes to producing for others or producing bigger projects, most of the time, like when I produce for others, I want to get to know the artist that I'm working with because I love authenticity. That's what I always tell people that I have sessions with. Just be yourself. Don't try to be someone else. That's the biggest thing I've learned. And before making music, I normally just talk with them or sit down and we have a coffee and talk for an hour. So I think that's the best approach that worked for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And another cool thing is that your music definitely blends like various genres. So I was wondering which artists or experiences have most significantly like influenced your sound?
I think Arctic Monkeys really rocked my life when I think, because let's put it like that. My father, like he had a lot of vinyls and we listened to Queen and David Bowie. So I was into rock music pretty early. Yeah. So I loved harder music from the start. But I think Arctic Monkeys was really the first band to like, I don't know, I just fell in love with their songwriting and the way they create music, and I don't know, I was hooked from the start. But the good thing is that I also have like a lot of influences from hip-hop artists. So the first CD I ever bought was the Eminem Show, for example. But I had a time where I was listening to a lot of heavy things like Bring Me the Horizon and like way back when they were too hard to really listen to it. But I loved it, you know. It was like not, for me, it was not like I listened to this music and that's that. But I think that's what really opened my mindset, because now I produce indie pop music for myself, but I also produce hip hop for others. And right now I'm working with someone on an R&B track. It's like the things that I love. Like I just love making music and listening to it. And there are still some things that I can't really listen to, I have to be honest. So like most of the Austrian and maybe German Schlager bubble is a bit difficult, but it's good. Like in a sense, it's good music. But yeah, I think the best thing for me was not limiting myself to one genre. So, but I think if there's one band that really changed my world, it was Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah, I loved Arctic Monkeys when I was growing up as well. And I also went through a big Oliver Sykes phase.
Yeah.
When
I actually have a Bring Me the Horizon tattoo. It was my first tattoo ever.
Eternal tattoo. I almost got the Eternal circle tattoo when I was in college, and my friend was like, "Not get that." I was this close. Yeah, I really wanted to get it. But yeah, no, I loved that album. It was really good. Yeah. So are there any artists or producers that you really want to work with in the future?
I always had on my bucket list that I want to perform or write a song with Alex Turner from the Arctic Monkeys. And I also always wanted to be on a Gorillaz album, because I just love Gorillaz. They are like after they were the first, like when I created this album, for example, I was listening to a lot of 21 Pilots and Gorillaz, just like for the things they put in the background of the music. Their songs are produced. It's like this is like, it's not just the beat and the melody and the lyrics. You have so many depth, or it has such
layers on layers. Yeah.
So Gorillaz would definitely be like, if I could have a song with Gorillaz, I could die in peace.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely love the Gorillaz. And so what's up next for you this year? Do you have any tours, any shows coming up?
I'm playing 2 very big concerts in summer. I'm playing at Donauinselfest in Vienna. It's one of the biggest outdoor festivals, concerts in Europe. And I'm also playing Sziget Festival in Budapest. I'm very happy about that. But the thing is, I concentrated on this album and I sure made some contacts along the way, and I met a lot of people, but all the things like booking agencies or people that could help me make the next steps, it's in the making, but it's not something that I want to rush, because I'm a person of trusting the universe, if you can put it like that. So I think when the album comes out on Friday and everything that's around it starts to like get into people's heads, and once they get the vision, I think it's only a matter of time.
Yeah. And I always like to ask this question, but what do you hope like listeners take away from listening to the album? Like, is there a message or a feeling or anything?
Don't be afraid to look into your soul, or don't rush anything that's in the future. So just be in the now and just like be connected to what's around you and enjoy the moment you live in. I think that's the whole point of this album. And if there's something that you really want to do, like Mr. Miracle really wants to go to the moon, don't be afraid to take the next step, and just take the next step and be happy with the step you just made, and don't rush anything. Just go into the direction where your heart leads you. I don't want to be like this guru, but when I talk about this album, there are so many things to it, and I could talk about this album for hours. But I think that's the whole point. Just enjoy the now and be yourself.
Yeah. And if you had to pick one song on the album that's your absolute favorite, I know it can be hard for artists sometimes because like they love everything, but if you had to pick one, which song would you choose maybe?
I think it would be Lean on Me, definitely, because there's this section in the song when all the other instruments come in and there's this big saxophone solo. And when we recorded the saxophone, it was just the producer, myself, and Nico, who played the saxophone. He played the saxophone and we put it into the song, and we just sat there listening to it, and I was crying actually. And this was the first time this really happened. So this song, I don't know, it means a lot to me, of course, like any other, like all of my songs do. But this song has something to it where I feel just like, I don't know, I can't really explain it. It's just a feeling I have when this song comes on, because I've listened to this album up and down and back and forth. But whenever this song comes on, I'm crazy about it.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one to perform. Hopefully, you might cry on stage, but at least it'll be fun to perform. Yeah. So I think those are the main questions I had for you. Are there maybe like any final words that you want to leave, the listeners and your fans with?
Listen to the album. Take the time to listen to the album. Like, put on the first song, lay down and just listen to it. It's only 40 minutes. I think you can spare 40 minutes of your life. You're going to enjoy it. And yeah, I think it's also the perfect time because right now the sun is coming out and it's starting to get summery. So yeah, it's a good album.
Yeah, very cool. Well, thanks so much. I'm super excited.
Thank you as well.
Coming out soon. And yeah, I'm sure it'll be great.
Thank you so much.